take it you're not a fan.
All that, my dog, my truck, my woman done me wrong.
I was back in Charleston, West Virginia, my childhood home. I was visiting from New York after my mom's passing. A bittersweet trip, to be sure. I stopped by my best friend's music store to pick up a gift basket. That's where I met him. My name is Beth, and this is my love story. He was a handsome, rugged man. He stopped by to pick up a piece for his daughter, a budding classical music enthusiast. We struck up a conversation. He was skeptical of classical music. I, in turn, confessed my own aversion to country music. It's clear from the start that our musical worlds couldn't be further apart. I had no idea who he was at the time. Later, my friend revealed the surprising truth. He was Sean Grant, a local country music star and widower. Soon, I found myself at the ranch. I was scheduled to return to New York City shortly after the holidays, so I hesitated when I received a text from Sean requesting violin lessons for his daughter for the upcoming Christmas recital. Then, unbeknownst to her father and I, Katie, Sean's daughter and my mother's former student, followed up on his text. She was very persistent, and even offered to pay double my usual rate. Touched by her desperation, I agreed to give her lessons. Sean, initially wary of having a stranger teach his daughter in his home, gradually warmed to the idea. One afternoon while shopping for decorations for the recital, I bumped into Sean at the Christmas tree lot. He looked overwhelmed by the towering pines, and requested my help finding the perfect tree to surprise Katie. We talked a bit about our personal lives and music. Then, I invited him and Katie to a concert the following night, where I would be performing. He hesitated initially, his desire to remain out of the public eye, but eventually he agreed. The concert was a success. I watched from the stage as Sean and Katie sat together in the audience, their faces a mixture of awe and surprise. Later, Sean approached me, his initial skepticism replaced by genuine warmth. "You were fantastic," he said, his voice sincere. The next day, as I was leaving after a lesson with Katie, Sean appeared with a box of Christmas ornaments in his hand. Katie asked him if I could help decorate the tree, and so we spent the afternoon stringing lights and hanging ornaments, the air filled with the scent of pine needles and the unexpected warmth of our shared experience. Finally, Sean asked me to help him find some vintage classical music recordings for Katie's Christmas gift. It was a small request, but it felt like a significant step forward. Our paths, once so divergent, were slowly beginning to intertwine. The next day, we met at the music shop. Sean asked if I was staying in New York, a question that made my heart ache a little. It seemed to acknowledge the distance between our lives, the gulf that separated our worlds. I, in turn, inquired about his songwriting, curious to know if he was still creating music. Katie and I reminisced about her late mom. During music practice and the following day, I stopped by to help Katie make an angel Christmas tree topper of her mom. But Sean became upset, accusing me of overstepping boundaries. His words stung. I apologized, explaining that I meant no harm, but the damage was done. I told him I needed to step back from teaching Katie for a while. Disheartened, I went to audition for an opening in the local orchestra. My performance, however, felt hollow, lacking the passion and emotion I usually poured into my playing. The judges, sensing my disquiet, gave me a second chance. At the Christmas fair, I spotted Sean. He approached me, apologizing for his outburst. He asked if I would consider helping Katie practice again, and I, feeling a renewed sense of understanding, agreed. Then, unexpectedly, Sean showed up at my doorstep. He'd finished writing a new song, he said, and I was the first person he wanted to share it with. He sat down and began to play, his voice raw and powerful. The song was beautiful, a poignant reflection of his journey through grief. loved it, though I gently suggested a way to strengthen the bridge. Later, he took me to meet Ruthie, his mother-in-law. Ruthie, a vibrant woman who led the local choir, who was like a mother to him. Spending time with her gave me a deeper understanding of the profound impact of loss on his life. The second orchestra audition went well. This time, I played with a newfound clarity and emotion, and I was thrilled to receive the job offer. However, the orchestra's first performance clashed with the date of Katie's Christmas recital. As I left the house after my final lesson with Katie, I received the news that Sean was returning to Nashville to pursue his music career. He had a record deal waiting for him, a chance to rediscover his passion. We said our goodbyes, the air heavy with unspoken emotions. Our paths, which had briefly intersected, were diverging once again. The day of the recital arrived. I performed with the orchestra, the music a vibrant counterpoint to the anxieties swirling within me. Then I rushed out, my heart pounding. I had to be there for Katie. She was on stage. Stage fright had gripped her. Seeing her distress, I knew I had to do something. Sean and I joined her on stage, playing our instrument. Later that night, Sean invited my father and me over for Christmas dinner. Then he told me he wasn't going to Nashville after all. He decided to turn the barn into a recording studio. Then he looked at me, his eyes filled with a quiet intensity. "Beth Hendricks," he said, "would you go on a date with me in the new year?" My heart leaped. "I'd love to," I replied, my voice barely a whisper. Then Sean leaned in, his eyes searching mine. And then he kissed me. It was a gentle kiss, a tentative exploration, yet it held the promise of a future we had both begun to hope for.